Szivarig a számban, lellök a bárban, megnézem a filmet, ennyi az élet.
Hello everybody, hi ladies and gentlemen, I am Dániel Varga from Hungary. I am the Hungarian Cigar Aficionados club members and club owner, and I am a European Cigar Federation Hungarian cigar expert. This is the Cigar Tales seasons, stories, and you know guys, this is a Hungarian podcast channel, and this is the first English episodes. And you guys, there is my partners, Martyn Eeles, and here is the LUJ owners, the Jonine Payne and Art Payne. Hello everybody. So I tell you one story before everything's, and Martyn is blowing all the time. So maybe half year started Martyn to say me in every weeks and every month, Danny, we need to do English episodes in the Cigar Tales. And I always told it, Martyn, no, because I'm not so brave and I can't speak so good English, because I never learned English. And the grammar my grammar is not so good, because I always hearing about the games and the TVs, the English language, and you know guys, I always talk it, oh no Martyn, because I can speak only Hungarian language, and we need to do Hungarian language. But you know guys, Martyn comes from England, and we are talking always in English language. So this will be the first episode in English language, and Martyn was the right. So he told me, Danny, we will do one day an English episodes, and Martyn is the guy who was speaking to me always. You need to do, and I think this is the next step of our Cigar Tales things, that we can speak English, and all of the world can translate this, and all of the world can say it, because the English is English. And guys, thank you Martyn, thank you for everything. Thank you for the half years, and thank you for you always speak to me, Danny, you need to do, and thank you. It's appreciated. So Martyn is a cigar aficionado from Hungary, and Jonine and Art Payne is LUJ owners, if I know everything.
Yes.
So thank you that you comes in here and give me a podcast, and you are in here. So it's appreciated for me. It's appreciated. So guys, tell me the stories about the LUJ. Tell me the stories.
Of LUJ. Well, LUJ, who his full name was Olujide Oluyeba,
yes,
was a beautiful Nigerian man. He was recruited to play basketball in the United States, play college basketball, and that's what took him from Nigeria to the U.S. He worked in the mortgage banking industry for many years. His journey with cigars actually started when he was in college. During the off season, he worked as a doorman at one of the fancy hotels in Chicago. And at the time, Tom Selleck was filming a movie in Chicago.
Tom Selleck is from Magnum.
From Magnum PI.
Yes, in Magnum. When I was young, I always see the series, the Magnum, with a Ferrari, with a red Ferrari.
Yes.
With the red Ferrari and the very good girls, and the very beautiful girls, and always makes everything and fighting everything. Yeah.
Well, the one parked outside?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the beautiful girls, because the way LUJ started with cigars was he noticed that Tom Selleck, as he would be returning to the hotel in the evenings, he'd have a beautiful girl on one arm and a cigar in his other hand.
Oh.
And LUJ noticed that he was paying more attention to a cigar than he was the beautiful woman. So he asked him one night, Mr. Selleck, why do you pay more attention to the cigar than the beautiful woman? And Tom said, well, have you ever had a cigar? And he said no. And Tom Selleck gave LUJ his very first cigar.
Oh.
And that's what started LUJ in smoking cigars. Grant you, his first cigar was an Opus X, so.
One beautiful evening, this gentleman by the name of Tom Selleck showed up. You know, he was shooting a movie in Chicago at the time. And he came downstairs. You know, he always goes for a walk in the evening. And then he would light a cigar. And he always smelled good. You know, he was always a nice guy. So one evening he asked me, he said, "Do you smoke?" I said, "Nope." He says, "Would you like to?" Like, yeah. And he gave me a cigar.
Nice.
What was it? He gave me a very good cigar. Very, very good cigar.
Which was?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Was it of the Cuban variety cigar?
Oh, no. No. But, and then, about 2 months later, I'll tell you what the cigar was. About 2 months later, there was another movie shooting in Chicago. And, you know, the players in the movie were staying at the hotel. It was a Swiss hotel, by the way. And this guy became very good friends with me. Pants, they called him. Pantoliano, Joe. Himself and Joe Montaigne came back one evening, and Joey always smokes this beautiful cigar, too. Oh, my God. So Joey asked me if I smoked. I said, yes. He said, "What do you smoke?" I said,
I do now.
What?
You said, I do now.
Well, I didn't say now because I was already trying to play big.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You do?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What do you smoke?" I told him what I smoked, and I didn't tell him how I started it. And he was like, "Oh, okay. I got something better for you." I said, "Oh, really?" He says, "Yes." And then he gave me another one. And that cigar blew my mind into shreds.
So what was the cigar that Tom Selleck gave you?
Ashton.
Excellent. And what was the cigar that the second one?
Opus X.
Ah.
Oh, now you're talking Paul's language.
That's right. Speaking my language now.
He kind of set the bar pretty high.
Yes.
And then several years later, well, not several years later, I'm not sure exactly how long, LUJ went on vacation to the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
And he met with the owners of Artista, and he blended his own cigars for his own personal use.
In the first time, if I wanna read about the LUJ cigars, it's always the mixing is not allowed. For the wrappers, for the binder, for the fillers. I meet in first time the LUJ cigars in 2015 when I was very young. So I meet in first time in 2015 with the LUJ cigars. One of my friends sent me from US Morphos, a LUJ Morphos.
Yes.
And if I smoke in first time, the chocolate, the coffee, and you know the creams was so good,
nice.
and the levels was in the same levels, and it was very good, and always comes from the head from the food zones to the middle zones and the head zones. It always do it very good changes, and you know, I think the LUJ Morphos was my first, maybe the LUJ Morphos 4 was that.
Yes.
Because maybe it started to made 2014 or 2012 maybe in
yes.
Morphos 4. And you know, I tell my friends, okay, you need to send me LUJ more. And okay, I'm not in US. And when I was in 2018 in Wien, Mohilla Maria told me, we have got LUJ. Oh, Maria, you have got LUJ. I need to buy. And he have got only maybe 5 sticks or 5 pieces. And she told me, Danny, you can bring only 5 because everybody want a LUJ. Everybody wanna buy a LUJ. And after maybe 2 months, she sent me for my friends. She gave me for my friends 2 boxes, and my friends bring to me. So thank you, Katie. So, and that was the LUJ Morpheus 2. And after I tried LUJ Serengetis, but it's not in the short coronas like in Hungary.
The Robusto?
You can buy guys in Hungary the short coronas.
No.
No. In the Serengetis, which
The Serengeti, the Robusto.
Robusto, yeah. But I,
After last night, there will be Coronas.
It was a long night.
It was a good night.
Yes, it was a good night because we smoked yesterdays and we meet yesterdays in first time, and maybe after 10 minutes when we start to talk, I ask the guys, do you wanna do a podcast with me? Oh yes, of course. So I in this time I texted Martyn, you wanna come?
Of course.
Always yes.
Yeah,
So it was a good things to bring LUJ, and I told in first time Gábor Olasz in Hungary. I told him maybe in 2019 or 2020 you need to bring to LUJ, but we need to wait 3 years or 4 years, and my friends Balázs Lovasz and Zsolt Vornicsak gave Olasz Gábor one Serengetis and one Morpheus, and the guys told it to Gábor, you need to be try and you need to be bring.
I did not know he had tried them before I met with him.
Yeah.
Okay, because I met with him last summer.
Yeah.
Last June.
No.
And
In Vienna.
in Vienna.
Yes.
He came up to Vienna.
Before the Gábor and the Balázs gave it the LUJ.
So he had them before that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's that's nice to know.
So this is a happy thing for me. The LUJ is
Yeah.
in Hungary.
Very nice. We're happy to be here, and we're thrilled. This is our first trip to Hungary, and it's been very nice.
Like us. Thank
It's
you.
been very
The
nice.
first of many.
Of course.
Of course.
Lots of cigars to smoke.
Always happy to come.
Perfect.
Always happy. And your English is great, and as long as you speak cigar, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, we need to talking about these cigars, but the history is the first. No.
The history. Well, yeah, LUJ, after he blended his own cigars for his own personal use, and was still working as a mortgage broker. And then in 2008, the mortgage business in the United States kind of took a dive.
In all of the world.
Yeah.
2008 was in all of the world.
2008, it just took a dive. And at that point, he told his friends, I'm sorry, I can't afford to keep giving you cigars. Because he was just making them for himself and sharing them with his friends. And his friends said, you don't need to give them to us, we will pay for them. And that was when LUJ thought, new business venture. So he started, and the shop that he went to told him, well, if you can bring a cigar to me at this price point, I will sell it in my shop. So that's where he started. That was in Chicago. The name of the shop was Up Down, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Up Down Cigars in Chicago. That's where he started, and then gradually built out, around the Chicago area, and slowly expanded beyond.
No.
And I mean, everyone that has tried them loves them. We discovered LUJ Cigars when we were living in Hawaii.
No.
And it was one of LUJ's friends was in Hawaii on business, and came to we had a cigar night every Thursday in this public
Row Bar.
at the Row Bar in just outside of Waikiki, actually in Kaka'ako. I'll just throw the Hawaiian words out there to confuse your audience.
Oh. It's a sad story, Hawaii.
Yeah.
It
We've
was
led a
sad,
rough
yes.
we've led a rough life. No. But Vance brought us some LUJ cigars. We loved them. He shared them with the people that he met that evening. After that, Art began corresponding with LUJ via text and email. And LUJ was a very personal guy. I mean, anyone that knew him, he was always the center of attention and very charismatic. So LUJ and Art developed a friendship via text and email.
But LUJ was very happy guy, but
Very.
he was 208 centimeter,
I've heard
208 centimeter, and maybe 160 kilo, maybe, or 150 kilos. So and everybody told it about LUJ. He always sing, he always laugh, he always was happy. And
He's a gentle giant.
yeah.
And the gentle giant teddy bear. And that's the best way to describe him. So he developed a friendship with him. He would send Art samples, and unlike LUJ's friends who were like, yes, it's great, give me more, Art was like, not so much, and was giving him honest feedback on new blends that he was coming up with. And he liked that. So he and Art developed a very good friendship without ever physically meeting one another. And it was, 3 years later that we finally met him in person
In Miami.
in
On
Miami.
our way to the Dominican.
And
That
so
maybe in 2018.
2016.
So 2016.
2016. First time we met him in person was to vacation with him for a week in the Dominican Republic, which was a wonderful week. I mean,
Way too much drinking, way too much smoking.
Oh,
There's
no.
no such thing.
Oh,
No such thing.
I can believe that. Oh, no.
And lots of laughing.
a lot of laughing, and yeah, it was a fun
Stories.
week. A lot of stories. It was a very fun week. And we just got to know LUJ, and he became instant family. I can't even describe how instant the connection was. So,
The first time we met in Miami, as soon as we got to Dominican, was my birthday.
Oh,
And that weekend was my birthday, and he gave me a box of cigars that he rolled especially for me.
oh.
a custom blend.
Because
just
he knew
for
I
Art.
had, two favorites of his blend, which was the Serengeti and also
the Morpheus.
Morpheus natural wrapper, not the Maduro wrapper.
Oh,
And he made a kind of a blend of those two. And I must say, I've tried through the years to get that blend, from him. And even on his deathbed, right before he died, LUJ, you have to tell me, because we have all the
all the
blends
recipes.
of every cigar that he ever made, except for the Arthur Payne.
no.
And I like, LUJ, tell me. And he goes, so I lean into him and I go, yes. He goes, it's a secret. Which I understand, to this day, I still wish I knew. I know roughly what it was, but to recreate something that he handcrafted for me, I don't even want to attempt it.
So when before he died,
Yes.
he gave you the always mixing, the secret mixing, the every cigars, and he gave the brand for you in
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Almost.
Almost. 99%.
99.9.
He did the cigars a different way though, didn't he? Didn't he used to test the soil?
He did, yes.
LUJ
He
was
was-
a chemist by, college education, so he approached things a little
From the
differently.
scientific point.
And he would look at, the different, soils and, different blends. And when he tried, making a new blend, he would just walk through the factory and take a leaf of this, roll it up and and he was always, you know, cupping the smoke and you know, taking it to his face, you know, to smell it, and you know, he had always watched everybody around him when they smoked, you know, a cigar and how they enjoyed it, and so he took a different approach than, you know, some not readily available tobaccos, but you know, he experimented a lot.
I think that's what makes it special, no?
I think that is exactly what makes it special.
He would take flechettes of several different tobaccos from different parts of the world. He would light one, you know, just the little leaf rolled up, and smell it, light another one and smell it, and put that down. And he'd have like 6 or 7 lit at the same time, and 2 of this and 1 of that, and like, no, take that one, pick up another one, and okay, yeah, that's good, and write it down, and just kind of like mix and match different tobaccos. And because he had access to tobaccos from all over the world, with the exception of the Dominican Puro and the Colombian Puro, all of his cigars are a blend of Dominican, Ecuadorian, Nicaraguan, Indonesian, Mexican, North American. I mean, it's just whatever.
And he can roll cigars too.
I'm sorry?
He can roll cigars.
I never watched him roll a cigar. He had me do it a few times.
Yeah.
You know, he was always
He had me do it a few
watching.
times.
He was a very observant person.
No.
Yeah. So when we went to the factory, we both learned how to roll.
Oh.
So
in the Artista.
Yes.
Oh.
Artista.
Yes.
Yes.
We both learned how to roll.
Tamboril, Santiago.
Oh yeah. I can believe it because I read it so many times about LUJ, but I wanna do this podcast, like, you know, if I meet him first time in 2015, I can't found some things about LUJ. In 2018, I can maybe found 1 or 2 reviews about the cigars, about the Morpheus, and it never tell it about the stories, never tell it about some things about LUJ, about Oluyeba, and you know, in 2021 I found maybe 4 or 5 reviews and gave it a little bit histories only, and I think the cigar is not cigars only. The cigars, if you smoke cigars, you smoke the histories, and you smoke the work. The people's work who work with these cigars. I think if we smoke these cigars, the Adidas, the LUJ Adidas, if I can touch it, the cigars before it's work minimum 200 people.
Yes.
I think, and you know, if 200 people works with these cigars that I smoke, it need to be give it big things. Need to be give it a very big things to smoke this.
Give it respect and
Yeah,
appreciation.
give to be respect. Yes.
I think a common number in the tobacco industry is 300 hands, you know, touch that product before it gets to you, or you might be the 301, you know, but 300 is the number I'm familiar with.
From the farm to
Yes.
to final packaging to
Yes.
that's not even counting
With the box,
shipping.
with the box, with the ring, with the roller, with the taster, with everything, you know, with the planters and
You know,
go to
aging the tobacco.
You go to the sort facility and you see, you know, 200 people, you know, with piles of tobacco all around them, you know, and they're sorting through it, you know, and this one is going to be, you know, this goes into the wrapper pile, this goes into the filler pile, this goes into the binder pile, you know, and they're essentially grading each leaf one by one, you know, and making a pile. Then they go to another sorter and they sort through all the wrappers to find, you know, the best ones and stuff like that. So it's quite the process, and you know, watching how they do things at the facility. They have forklifts and they have elevators and stuff, but they still load all the tobacco up in a big old bundle and somebody carries it up the stairs And it's like, why don't they? He goes, I don't know why they do that. That's just how they do it.
When I searching about the LUJ, I read it maybe in 2018, in the 2016 EPCPR festivals. LUJ bring only every lines from 20 to 100 cigars.
Correct.
And one of guys went him and I wanna buy with these cigars more than 20 boxes. And LUJ told it, we have got one, we have got this only. And I read it about the reviews in the EPCPR. This line is only 100 box in this year. This line in only 20 box in this year. This line is only 50 box in this year. And LUJ always told it, if we sell this, we need to do again. But in the next year, this year is all of these cigars. And it was very rare cigars. It was very rare cigars.
Well,
he was a true boutique, kind of guy, and one of his biggest things that he never wanted to do was to sell to the big retailers. He was all about a mom and pop, brick and mortar shop where you would go in there and the guy, would talk to you about what you liked and, kind of found out a little about your smoking history and then would recommend a cigar or find out what you liked. And then he goes, oh, okay, well, have you ever tried one of these? And then that's how his cigars basically got started, was somebody making a recommendation. Whereas in a big retailer where you have 200 blends or cigars in there, one little boutique brand would not stand out. Whereas in a brick and mortar with somebody that was passionate about cigars was more likely to recommend it than a generic salesperson. They'll sell you anything that you want. A good salesperson will sell you what you want.
In fact, we went on a tour of cigar lounges and cigar shops in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia. And as we were going into the shops, in many of these cases, he had appointments with the shop owners, but we would drive up to the shops, park a little bit around the corner.
This was in 2016 or
This would have been in 2017. But he would park around the corner and he would send me into the shops first because he wanted to know how the people in the humidor and how the people in the shops talk to me as a woman. Are they going to try to sell me something girly, or are they going to actually treat me as a cigar smoker and ask me the right questions? And if I walked in and they immediately pointed me to flavored cigars, LUJ would cancel the appointment. Whereas if I walked in and they'd ask, well, what do you normally smoke? Then he would keep the appointment and then would come in and talk with them about his line.
It's a very hard business for a woman.
Yes,
maybe.
yes. There are not a lot of, it's growing. There are not a lot of female cigar smokers in the United States. But it's growing.
That's changing.
It's changing. I've noticed a big change, I'd say, just in the last 5 years.
I think this is real. In the last 5 years, I saw more women to smoke cigars like before, and Maria from Wien, Mohilla Maria, told me, Danny, in the last 2 or 3 years, more women smoke cigars because they see me because I am a girl. So if I am a woman, I am a girl. So if I smoke cigars, it's not problem because she is owner in the Mohilla Maria. She is the owner, the world oldest cigar shops. It's made it maybe in 1685.
Yes.
And this is the world oldest cigar shops. And always was women's the owners, except only one times in the Second World War, because her dad was the owners, but in all the time was women's the owners.
I didn't know that. Interesting. That makes sense, though.
If you go in, you can speak with her.
Yes.
I think it's very good.
I have met her.
Yeah, we have
Yes.
met her. Now, if we met her now, she would just be talking about LUJ because she loved him. You know, she met
She's on me.
LUJ. She met LUJ,
Oh, no.
and you know, he was in love with her. He was
Yeah.
convinced that, you know,
She is the loveliest.
Yeah.
She's the loveliest.
yeah.
And
I think on that trip he was convinced he was moving to Vienna. Yeah, I think so.
and after comes 2018 that you bring the LUJ to Wien, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and that was 2018. Sadly, that was the same year that he was diagnosed with the brain cancer.
No.
So when we first launched in 2018, the three of us, it was supposed to be Art and LUJ and myself, the three of us were supposed to come out and do the launch. But it was just 2 weeks prior to that he had surgery.
No.
And he couldn't make the trip. So Art and I, on that first trip in 2018, we did the trip and we did the launch.
He died in 2018.
He died in 2020.
2020.
He was able to make the trip to Vienna in 2019.
He was very sick. He was
He
very
had
sick
a
in
he had
the
a
pistol
brain
years.
he had brain cancer.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But he was it maybe.
The surgery, when they removed the initial tumor, that basically gave him another 2 years before the cancer came back. So it was a good 2 years. So
It's good.
I
It's
mean,
good.
it
It
would have
was
been
an
nice.
interesting trip because, you know, I did the interviews as LUJ, you know, and I just tried to answer everything the way LUJ would, and, you know, he had all these little idioms that he always, you know, smoke it now, thank me later, you know, and he just had these little things that he did. You know, he would take, you know, he'd walk into a lounge and he'd walk by somebody, you know, what are you smoking? And he would look at him and then he'd just reach over and pull the cigar out of the guy's hand, you know, hand him a LUJ cigar, and he goes, and they're like, oh, but I'm smoking. And he goes, smoke it now, thank me later.
Oh, good job.
Because LUJ was such a giant, a huge, very imposing looking
Nobody
black
ever
man.
said no.
You know, no one's going to say no because he looks scary. He isn't scary, but if you don't know him at first, he looks, you know, scary because he's just was so big.
Yeah.
That everyone was just sort of shocked as he's taking the cigar out of their hand. They didn't know what to do, and then he'd hand them something delicious and wonderful. And it was always, smoke it now and thank me later.
And they all did thank him later.
They always did.
I'm still thinking.
Always.
So tell me about the cigars and what we smoke now.
Well, what we're smoking now is actually this particular one has what I think of as a fun story. The wrapper on this one is a wrapper that Ram, who is the current owner of Artista, had been wanting to use for a very long time, and his father would not allow him to use this tobacco, this wrapper. But LUJ, who could charm anybody, charmed the old man, Ram's father, into letting him use it. So LUJ blended the Adida, you know, using that tobacco. It's a, what is the wrapper? San Andreas. I didn't learn any of it.
This is San Andreas?
Yeah, I didn't learn any of them until after LUJ passed, what the tobaccos were, because he would never tell me what was in it. He'd just say, if you like it, it's a good cigar. Which I think is true of anything. If you like it, it's a good cigar.
And the filler and the binder? And the filler and the binder in this? It's
The filler, I believe,
Even at this point, I
is,
still have to look it up.
Yeah.
Ecuadorian,
My first time smoking it's
and
delicious.
the binder is a Dominican binder that is grown on the Artes
oh,
plots.
so
Yeah.
it's a binder. It's a Dominican. No,
There is.
No, it's a combination.
It's a combination.
It's
You
a
know,
combination.
Like almost all of his cigars were a combination of world
so
cigars.
it's a secret.
It's a secret. yeah.
secret.
Funny you say that because he would not discuss any of his blends with anybody that never tried the cigar. If you want, you know, regardless of the cigar, he would, you know, we'll smoke it and then we'll talk about it. you
Smoke
know.
it, tell me what
Because
you
he
think.
didn't want people to have a preconceived idea of what that cigar was going to taste like. You know, because they're like, oh well,
I don't
like
yeah.
Dominican, you know, tobacco, or you know, I don't like, you know, particular, you know, a Habano wrapper. Well,
They're not
try
all
it.
the same.
You know, it depends
Dep-
on where it's grown. It's depend on, you know, the combination. And for LUJ, it was
It depends on the
it was
farm.
a chemical, you know, as a chemist, you know, it was a chemical thing. The smell, the taste, the experience is all combined together, you know, for the cigar
Yeah.
experience.
How much sun did that leaf on that plant get?
You know, what
how
type of
much-
soil was it grown in? You know, he was that kind of guy. He just, you know, overanalyzed everything.
And so you do you do the same when you first give a cigar to someone who's not smoked it?
We just
On
tell them
any
to
cigar,
try.
I will try any cigar, you know, and whether you like it or not is only after you've finished one.
Yeah.
You know, do you know that, you know, that's right up my alley, or, you know, some cigars, you know, the first 2 minutes you're just like, I like that, you know, I mean, there's something about the, you know, the smoke and the aroma and the whole experience, you know, because it also depends if you're smoking on your back porch or if you're with friends, you know, that all adds to the experience of a cigar. And
Absolutely.
the more you're with your friends and people that, you know, you hang out with and, you know, talk with on a daily basis, the more you share things and you'll point out little things about a cigar and they're like,
Oh yeah.
it does, you know, like the Cocoa Puff.
The cocoa.
You know, the Serengeti. I mean, everybody that, you know, smokes that, you know, are like, a little chocolatey there, and you know.
Tell me about the cocoa puff. What does it mean? Because the followers don't know what does it mean. Cocoa puff.
There's the Serengeti is out of all of LUJ's blends, that was his first blend, and that was his personal favorite, you know, of his children, because he considered these his children. And we nicknamed the Serengeti. We've nicknamed it the Cocoa Puff. Cocoa Puff? Because it has the chocolatey notes to it. And it has a brown label. You know, it's got the.
And what does it mean in the cocoa? The cocoa, it's coconut or
chocolate.
Chocolate.
Like
chocolate.
cocoa. Like
chocolate like cocoa.
Yeah. Cocoa Puff, chocolate. Yeah, that's a.
And if I know your first morning cigars after the coffee or with the coffee.
With the coffee.
Is Serengeti, the cocoa
My
puff.
personal favorite for my first cigar of the day is a Petite Corona Serengeti and a nice cup of coffee. The combination is just a beautiful way to start the day. So that's my favorite. However, I started off with all Robos, and it was 3 years until LUJ ran short at the factory of the Robustos, you know, that, you know, I was like, LUJ, you know, you're killing me. I need some more Serengetis. He goes,
You
well,
have the Perfectos, yeah.
I have Perfectos and I have, you know, Petite Coronas, you know, and I was like, what?
It's like,
You know.
dude, you're holding out on us.
So I got some, and it was like, it was eye-opening because they're more concentrated, you know, of flavor, especially on the smaller ring gauge on the Petite Corona,
Yeah.
you know, that, you know, and the Perfecto for a larger cigar,
It's
you know, the weight
delightful.
of the shape.
I like the Perfecto.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I like maybe I like the Gordito Robusto size, and I like the Lancero size too, because it's very elegant, I think. And the Perfecto is always perfect.
Yes, it's
I would
aptly
agree with
named.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I started, you know, with LUJ, you know, mainly as, you know, from a business background. I kept telling him, you know, that, you know, some of it, you know, some of his business practices made no sense because he was trying to take care of all of his friends, but, you know, I don't think he really truly understood that there's a lot more, you know, on the cost of a cigar than the price of the tobacco, you know, and, you know, what it costs from the factory, because you have to factor all the other things into it, you know, your shipping and, you know, promotional and anything that you do, that you have a true landed cost versus what the cost is on the invoice. So I was trying to, you know, convince him, you know, because he had a private club, and he would, you know, for, you know, say $150, you know,
A year. Yeah.
a year, they would get, you know, this, you know, bundle of cigars and
some-
you know, some swag and promotional stuff. And I was like, LUJ, that doesn't add up. You know, I mean, there's $200 of cigars plus all the swag. You know, you're actually,
Losing
you know,
money.
losing money. And he's like, oh, I'm trying to take care of my friends, you know. And I was like, I understand, but business 101 is you have to sell it, you know, at least to break, you know, you got to get back to zero somehow. You know, and for a business, you have
You need
to
to at
actually
least make it, even for his friends.
you have
make
to
a
at
dollar.
least, you know, make money, or else it's no longer a business, it's a charity. And so slowly I got him, you know, to look at it.
So
you know,
LUJ was like me, not a businessman.
So Art was coaching him on the business side of his cigar business.
Yeah.
LUJ was a creative genius. He was not a business genius.
Yeah, me too.
So Art was coaching him on the business side. And it's funny because LUJ loved American idioms, you know, little American sayings. And I used to tell him, I'm like, LUJ, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, which is a saying meaning it's like you're not paying attention and you're losing. And he loved that saying, throw the baby out with the bathwater. So he learned that, you know, he needed to make sure that his cost for the club, for his friends, was at least minimum $1 more than what it cost him to put.
And he could learn.
He did finally learn.
He did.
He would run it by us,
No.
and then
he
would
learned a
adjust
lot
it
of
for us.
things, including English, by watching TV. And
Westerns.
his favorite was Westerns. And one of the, you know, cigars that he made, what, you know, he wanted to make a cigar like Clint Eastwood smoked in, you know, the spaghetti westerns, you know,
Yes.
the good, the bad, the ugly,
Oh.
fistful of dollars, a few dollars more. You know, he always had that, you know, long. Well, in LUJ's hands, you know, a Lancero looks like a little kid. You know, looks like. So that he made a lot of Lanceros, and it was because he thought that looked, you know, like Clint
He thought it made him
Eastwood
look like
smoking.
Clint Eastwood. Yeah, a 6'10" 350-pound Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's a 280 centimeter. And you know, guys, he was a giant. He was a very big giant, and I think he always sing.
Oh, well, he thought he was singing.
So kind of like me.
And like me.
At PCA, he brought his guitar, and you know, he would sit there and play the guitar, and he played, you know, for a self-taught person, he played fairly
nice.
well.
Oh.
You know, but as soon as he started to sing, you know, I was like,
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna just silence it.
he could not sing. His singing was atrocious, as is mine. Which is funny because
Shut up.
right before he passed away, he and I were singing to each other. Luckily, Art was the only one in the room.
I did not record it. I did not.
No, but
For
it was a
everyone's
special
sake.
moment
It
because he had told me like a few days before he passed away, he was really sad and he told me, he's like, I don't want to be forgotten. You know, and it was just, I've got little chills thinking about that moment.
I think I never forgot. I never know him, but
Yeah.
but I'm read so many things.
Anyone who knew him and met him would never forget him. And so he was lying in his hospital bed and I was singing Unforgettable to him. And this was at the point where, he had so many drugs in him. He didn't speak much, but he started singing with me. And so he and I were singing Unforgettable together. And for LUJ and I, it was a beautiful moment. And LUJ and I both felt like we sounded like Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. For my poor husband, who was the only other person in the room, he was going,
I know nothing. Plausible deniability.
But I mean, it was a beautiful moment for us.
Yes,
a very touching moment.
I feel it now that you told it. It's a beautiful moment.
It was, but
It was.
But if anyone had heard it, other than my husband who loves me, so he didn't say anything. I know what he thinks of my singing, but he's been a good man in that he's never outwardly told me stop because he loves me. But I mean, I'm glad no one else heard it. But it was a nice moment for us, and that's actually unforgettable. That's why we took over the brand, is because we want to make sure that his legacy continues.
So
And-
this brand, the LUJ brand. You do it now, but I think in LUJ soul live in here.
Yes.
Live in the cigars.
Yes, it most definitely does. And, we're still very close with his family. So, and so we've taken it on with his family's blessing.
He had got a child.
Yes, he has a daughter and his younger brother, nieces and nephews. So it was his younger brother and his family that asked us to take over and
And he stay in contact his families.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. In fact, we're his nieces and nephews' godparents.
No.
So, yeah, and they're also all very tall.
One of the things about LUJ Cigars that I get asked a lot is if there's going to be any new blends or, something new from LUJ, and I think it would be a dishonor to make a blend and put his name on it unless he created it. So
The new blend that you gave me yesterday, the new blends. I smoked the new blends, maybe the new cigars, the new lines.
New lines. Those were LUJ blends.
those were all LUJ's blends.
Yes.
We will only put LUJ's name on
On his
a blend
blends.
that he himself created.
No.
If at some point down the road I start blending or Art starts blending, those cigars will not have the LUJ name on them. Because if it wasn't a LUJ blend, we're not going to name it LUJ.
I think what you need to do is learn the blend. That was the secret. That could be the vision for
Yes.
the next
I
cigar.
agree with you that I have a good idea of where, what he used as his inspiration, because he knew I had two favorites, and I think it's a combination of that.
Nice.
Now that might take a lot of experimentation, you know, to try to get to, but
Oh darn.
you know,
A lot of
I can
cigars to
take.
smoke.
I'll take one for the team.
Yeah. When we took over, we started an LLC, which we named Pono Cigars LLC.
Which?
Pono Cigars LLC is the name of our company. Pono is the Hawaiian
Pono
word.
with P? Or
P-O-N-O.
Pono.
Pono. It's a Hawaiian
What
word.
does it mean?
Pono is a Hawaiian word,
No.
and it means to do the right thing.
Oh.
So that, because of that, if, like I said, if we come up with a new blend, it would be under the Pono name, to do the right thing. It would not be under LUJ's name because LUJ did not make the blend. So it would be a separate line.
Yes. And this will be the LUJ is the uppers and comes maybe in the side of the Pono.
Correct.
Oh, it's very
Because
good. It's very
because
good.
that would be the right thing to do.
And the Ponos mixing, it's your thinkings about you made it.
At some point, not yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still learning.
I tried
Yeah.
it yesterday.
No, you have not.
No. The news what I tried yesterday was the blue.
Oh, the Dominican Puro.
Dominican Puro, yeah.
Yes, and that's a blend that LUJ made.
That LUJ made.
It was originally a blend, and we tested those blends the first time we met in the Dominican. He had a Dominican Puro, a Colombian Puro, and a Nicaraguan Puro.
No.
The Nicaraguan one, there,
It's not
you know,
so good.
I told him, I says,
It was not LUJ.
that,
It was
that
good,
did
but
not
it wasn't
that
LUJ.
doesn't have that extra, you know,
Extra-
oomph to it that, you know, makes me believe that this is a LUJ cigar.
I tried yesterday this new blend.
The Dominican,
The
yes.
Dominican Puro. I'm going to be honest with you. In the first cigars, I never see it. That will be the first cigars for somebody's, because it was so rare tastings, so hard tastings, and it's make maybe the strength, the nicotine strength was its level 10/6 or 10/7, so it was so hard that after the cigars that I smoked the Cocoa Puff. Cocoa Puffs? I need to be calm a little bit to can't tasting, can't feel the tastings, and you know after if I give somebody these cigars, I give the less cigars, because you know the step by step. If somebody is build the cigars lines that smokes in one day, I think always need to be start with a light
The
cigars
light, and then work up.
goes to the night. It's need to be smoking harder and harder or stronger cigars.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are that. For me, I'll smoke any cigar anytime. You know,
How many cigars do you smoke in one day?
on an average day,
Yes.
probably two. When
Me, too.
Two, liar.
When I am with friends, 8, 10. You know. When on, you know, like here, 10, 15. You know,
But on a normal Tuesday, too.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of the guy in the US who lived to like 110 or 115 and he would smoke 12 cigars a day?
I saw an article about probably the same gentleman, you know, and he had bourbon and 12 cigars a day, and I was like, that guy's got it figured out, you know what I mean?
LUJ was convinced that this is health food.
Do you know the Marius? Do you know the Marius Wizard cigars? Marius Wizard Cigars. The owners, the Marius.
Oh yes.
The owners smoking every day 10 to 15 cigars a day, and he always smokes cigars. But the Marius Wizard Cigars started with very light, and it comes to strength in the middle zone. It's so hard, and the head zone is so hard that I smoke to my nails, and after it I need to be calm a little bit because it was extremely hard feelings. Oh fuck! What is that? What is that?
Funny that you say that, because one of the cigars that LUJ sent me to try was a Curo, which is, you know,
his strongest.
Is the strongest one, which has, you know, Ligero, a lot of Ligero. This was a 70 ring gauge, you know, monster. He goes, Art, tell me what you think of that, you know. And I smoked it. I think it wrecked me for 3 days, you know, before I could smoke another cigar, because, like you said, I was like, whoa, you know. And my honest opinion was, I go, LUJ, I think this would be better if you made 3 cigars out of that one, you know, because it needs to come down a few notches. You know, I mean, it was just.
But a big man is big cigars.
True.
True. No, that one was. It packed a punch.
But LUJ blended all his cigars to a Robusto size. That was his personal favorite, you know. So in every blend that he ever made, there's a Robusto, because that was how he blended.
Oh.
So when I give samples when I go to shops and I'm giving samples to shop owners, my samples are always Robustos, because that's the flavor.
I think the Robustos, the Gorditos, maybe this size is always working very good, because you know, this is not so long and not so short to feel the change of tastings. In the Robustos, always born the changing, and everybody feeling the changing. I like the big cigars. I like the small cigars too. But you know, I think the Robustos, Gorditos size is always playing with the tastings and playing with the change of tastings.
Yes.
The transition
exactly
is part of it.
When he would get his blend in a Robusto to where he liked it, then he would start playing with different vitolas of that blend and trying out that blend in the various vitolas and see how that worked out. But it was always
Like
the Robusto first.
Like a cocoa puff.
Cocoa puffs? You know, but it was always the Robusto first.
Yeah, always the Robusto.
And then sometimes the different vitolas, sometimes they worked and sometimes they didn't. You know, so we've kind of narrowed down the line a little bit. For example, on this one, the Serengeti, he was making both a Figurado and a Perfecto. I saw no need for both. They're so similar. You know, taste-wise they were similar, shape-wise they were so similar. So, you know, we were able to kind of streamline that and say, well, just the Perfecto. We don't need a Perfecto and a Figurado.
He even had a short Robusto and a Robusto and a Robusto Gordo,
and the Toros and the
narrow it down a little bit, you know.
And after 2020, it's the LUJ is yours.
Yes.
And what happened after it?
What happened? Well, we're just doing our best to carry out his legacy. It was in 2018 is when we first brought it to Europe. This year, we finally brought it to Hungary.
Yeah.
We're hoping to expand more throughout Europe. The business model for cigars in Europe is much easier from a business standpoint to deal with than it is in the United States.
Really?
How come?
Because in Europe you have brokers, tobacco brokers.
Okay.
You know, so I deal with, you know, Alpha Tobacco here, and then Alpha Tobacco takes care of, you know, distributing it through the different shops.
Yes.
In the United States, we would have to go to each individual shop ourselves.
Are you serious?
Wow. Really?
Yes. So that makes it very difficult because the United States is very large.
Yes.
There are brokers, you know, in the U.S. However, a broker a lot of times will represent
multiple
20
brands.
to 30 different, you know, companies, And part of it is how much time are they spending promoting your blend versus the other blends that they represent. And you know, LUJ was very much about brick and mortar. You know, the person that he wanted selling his cigars, you know, had a love of that cigar enough to promote it on its own over other cigars in their shop. You know, so he wanted he was a dead set against big boxes, online ordering, you know, all that, you know, so he was dead set against going to, you know, chains or somebody that had, you know, 20 different stores. You know, he was not interested in that. He wanted a brick and mortar, you know, a person that, you know, when you came in, paid attention to what you liked, and instead of selling you whatever cigar you were looking at, you know, would introduce themselves, talk to you about what you liked, you know, what type of cigars you liked, what, you know, your experiences were, and on a more personable level. That was just how LUJ was. That he wanted to know more about you and what, you know, made your smoking experience better than, you know, you know, it's like going into a grocery store, you know, and, you know, you have 20 apples there, you know, which one are you going to buy? Well, most people will buy the one that they always buy.
Yeah.
You know, what's going to make you try a new apple that's on the shelf?
A good produce person that says, here, try this.
A good salesperson that, you know,
Yes.
that would find out that you like a sweeter apple or, you know, a little more tart, you know, more crisp.
Yeah.
You know, find out more about what your experiences were, and that's what he wanted.
And going forward, is that something you're going to continue, or are you going to work with like ambassadors as well to help?
I think going forward we're going to continue, you know, with the same idea that we have, you know, in Europe, that we have been, you know, slowly contacting, you know, actually word of mouth has been.
Word of mouth is how it's
the best thing, you know, for us, because we came here because of great people, you know, that have tried, you know, LUJ cigars
and wanted them,
and, you know, talk to the, you know, right people, and, you know, you got to get these, you know, and it's
and
those
that's how we
people
open
that
accounts in the U.S.
And that's what drives the business, is people that, you know, have an interest in a great cigar versus
we have
a good
people
cigar.
who have had LUJ cigars that go to their local shop and ask their local shop, can you get these in for me? And then they contact us and we'll go out and see them.
So that's on you to start asking for LUJ.
Yeah. You know, I think this is very necessary, the podcasts in US. So many people made in US cigar podcasts. But the problem, all the podcasts, all the fucking podcasts in US, that everybody made it only 5 minutes or maximum 10 minutes podcast. Of my podcast is built up always, but in Hungarian language before, that if somebody buy a cigar, maybe the LUJ Edida, and don't know what they need to feel in the cigars. We always making a long videos, 1 hour or 1.5 hour or 2 hours long videos, because if I burn the cigars, it start the podcast. We always talking about some things and the cigars, and if I feel changes the tastings in the cigars, I see, okay, I feel now it's changed this at this time. If somebody is to start to burn with me in the phones on or the TVs, seeing and burn at the same time like me, they always be in this zone like me, and
in
feeling
the
the same time in the same place, and if somebody's making, it's very good. But in US in 10 minutes oh, the cigar is very good, it's maybe 1.5 hours long, but we need 10 minutes, and I feel that, and the middle zone that, and the head zone that. Oh, it was a good cigar. Thank you. It's appreciated. Bye. And fuck, why?
That doesn't tell you anything about the cigar.
And this, the tastings, that feel the tastings, and the say what he feel the tastings is never he feel the tastings. He always read reviews and always see the same things always. And you know, every people is different. Every
Yes.
people is different. If you feel some tastings, it's not necessary that I feel the same tastings, because the aroma in the nose, in the retros, it's always different. Because you grow up in US, I'm growing in the Hungarian little town, and if I growing in the little town, I always feel different aromas in the cigars like you.
Yes.
And this is the important. This is the very important in the cigars. The aroma is always different with every people, and the tastings in the tongue, in my mouth is maybe same, but the aroma is always different.
And the aroma is going to evoke different memories for you
Yes.
than it does for me.
Yeah.
Because we grew up in different places.
Yeah.
As I was, trying to, learn more about cigars and expand my own palate, we would go to cigar festivals where I would get a bag full of, 100 different cigars, all different brands, different
Yes.
blends. And when I'd sit at home to taste them, I never read the reviews before I lit the cigar. Never.
And when did you start smoking cigars?
In 2006.
Okay.
Wasn't it 2000? Yeah, 2006.
Your first cigar was in Paris.
In Paris.
And your first cigars?
I think my first cigar was one that I stole from my uncle about 50 years ago.
50?
It was a White Owl. Smelled terrible, tasted terrible. I think I got sick. And
How old were you?
our uncle caught us and made us smoke the whole thing. And I got deadly ill. But the first regular cigar I think I smoked, premium type cigar, was probably a Romeo and Julieta, a short Churchill or a Bully, as in the U.S. And,
This was the U.S. Roman.
Yes,
Juliet.
yes. And, I smoke, Monte Cristos, number twos, and, a lot of what I call the East Coast of the U.S., Arturo Fuentes and stuff like that. It was a customer of mine wanted a particular cigar, and it was a Tatuaje Coronu.
Yeah.
And I got him a box, and I took him to him, as a thank you for being a good customer. And he goes, "Oh no, we're going to smoke those together." I'm not taking the box, So I started, we'd smoke those together, and I'm smoking. And I was like, I got to find more cigars that taste like this, because a boutique at that time was way different than your stock mill, East Coast cigars, so I started experimenting and
trying new things.
And it was I got to try that cigar, and when I'm in the humidor, it's like I haven't tried these, and I try all these different cigars and refine my palate that way in finding not only what I did like, but what I didn't like about a particular cigar.
So do you think now the cigar owners need to be smoke the other cigars, not the own cigars?
Absolutely, yes.
How do you know how good of a cigar you're making if you don't know what the competition's doing?
Yeah, you know, I think, but I'm not owner. I think if somebody's smoking only own cigars, the problem is you feeling the same testings, and if the other owners making a new way, maybe the cigars, maybe when there comes the Matafina. Matafina, in a Brazilian Matafina comes, it's very, very good tastings, I told you yesterday. And everybody start to use and try to use Matafinas. And some of cigars working with very, very good, the Matafina. And some of not, but you know, this is the mixing problem, I think, because the very good cigars, if you found the very good mixing, the very good brand, you can use in your own cigars. And if you
for inspiration.
Yes.
For inspiration.
Yes.
And in fact, I'm very excited. You know, on this trip to Europe, we do not plan on going home with any LUJ cigars, but I will be going home with cigars.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a hand to smoke them, I'm more than happy to help.
He is a liar. We always smoke Cuban cigars.
Which again is something that we cannot purchase in the US. So there are cigars that I can purchase here that I cannot purchase in the US, and I plan to do so.
I think what you said about, you know, different, you know, an example would be Cameroon wrappers.
Yes.
You know, Melissa High. That you know, very few people could pull that off, you know, and then as it became more prevalent, you know, another one would be, you know, Connecticut broadleaf, or, you know, San Andreas wrappers or stuff. Only by smoking other people's, you know, creations, you know, can you get inspired, you know, hey, you know, I really like that wrapper, you know, I mean, you know, and then they can experiment on their own.
See what we can do with it.
You know,
yeah.
So your contact is very good to other owners.
Yes. I have
which cigars owners do you have a contact, maybe?
That I've met. We've met Pete and Yanni several times. Let's see, who else have we met? Steve Saka, Jonathan Drew, who else?
You know, Risty from
Risty from JSK. Risty.
Thank you, Risty.
Thank you, Risty. Risty, when we first took over LUJ Cigars, and, you know, I didn't know where to start, you know, to get licensed and everything else. I didn't even know where to start. I called Risty, who owns JSK Cigars, and he was very generous with his time, and he told me what websites to go to and what paperwork I needed to fill out and how to get licensed in the U.S. and how to get our, you know, tobacco importer license. And
so I think the owners always help
each other.
Owners.
Yes.
Help each other. And we in Hungary, the guys who smoke cigars, always thinking, oh no, the owners is always fight with them.
Oh no. In fact, the last time I met Jonathan Drew was at an event in Colorado, and I introduced myself. I mean, I had met him at several events as a customer before, but when I told him, I said, oh well, my husband and I, we took over LUJ Cigars for LUJ, and he's like, oh, LUJ, and he had met LUJ and loved him. And he's like, oh, so you guys are doing LUJ now. Great, here. And he gave us, like, all of his swag and, you know, all of his things and, you know, wished us luck and let me know if you need anything and what can I do to help you. And
I think I don't see it as a competition because, you know, we're really not competing. We're all trying to promote something that we love that, you know, and they have gone through the same trials and tribulations that every other owner has gone through, and, you know, trying to grow or, you know, broaden their horizons. And I have found nothing but, you know, love and help, you know, from what would, you know, most would think would be your competitor, but you're not really competing because two different, you know, people with the same tobacco will come up with two entirely
Completely
different creations.
cigars.
Now you make that 100, different, manufacturers with the same tobacco, you will probably end up with 99 combinations that are different, and maybe 2 are similar, but there is a lot in the creation process. Exactly how many leaves of one are you using versus for your filler and your binder. It's a chemical process, in essence, that you're creating something with an agricultural product that changes year to year. Whether that temperature was the same that year, or how much water it got, the type of soil it was grown on. It could be the same seed, grown in 5 different locations, and you're going to get 5 different tastes.
So what would you say would be the biggest obstacle to grow a cigar brand? Like, what's been your biggest obstacle growing LUJ?
Just getting it out there.
Yeah.
Having to go to all of the, again, in the US, we have to go to each individual cigar lounge independently, one from another, and it's like every day starting from scratch.
Okay.
I think the biggest obstacle is a matter of time. How much time are you willing to invest in marketing and other aspects of it. Being a small boutique brand is a lot different than a multi-million-dollar brand that when they started the same way. So it's a matter of time before you can spread your wings enough to where do you get the best bang for the buck. Well, for me, the best bang for the buck is coming to places like here and meeting wonderful people and, sharing our experiences and, over something that we all love, which is a good cigar. And, you learn more about people that way. And in this industry, whether you're a farmer, an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, a politician, it doesn't make any difference. When you're smoking a cigar, you're all talking the same language.
Yes.
And then you have more in common the longer you talk with people from different walks of life, and you all find that you have more in common than just the cigar. Your experiences and but you start off with the common denominator, and the common denominator is a great cigar.
He was just commenting that this was his first LUJ cigar and he enjoyed it. And the Adida is the one that brought us to Europe.
Okay.
And the way we got to Europe was with LUJ at the IPCPR in Las Vegas. And Johan Galli was looking for a seat at the bar. It was crowded, and Art said, "Here, sit down," and handed him this cigar, the Adida. And Johan loved it. He smoked it, the ash all the way down.
Like me.
And said, we have to get this cigar. I'm just waiting for my boss. We have to get this cigar. And that was the one that he fell in love with, and then tried all the others.
So which one would you recommend for someone who hasn't smoked LUJ before?
The Adida.
This one?
I would say either the Adida or the Serengeti.
My personal favorite is the Petite Corona of Serengeti,
which is not
the
yet
Cocoa
here.
Puff,
Cocoa Puffs?
which after last night will become available in Hungary. But this cigar with a cup of coffee or bourbon or anything, and the retro on this is just phenomenal. So this is my morning cigar. Every morning, this is what I smoke.
And tell me about nowadays. Tell me about your days, because you are traveling so much, I think. How looks your years? How many is the traveling time?
Not a lot of traveling time because I like home.
Oh.
But we come out here hopefully once a year to Europe. We do a cross-country trip across the U.S.
So
once a year.
Next time we will do another podcast.
Sure, absolutely.
If you're here, yes.
Yeah, I will be here.
Okay, yes.
Or we will go to you.
Yeah, and we do a cross-country trip, a road trip, where we drive from Tennessee to Colorado, up to South Dakota, and back through, you know, a big loop once a year. And we have several shops that we'll stop in, and we do that once a year. And that's usually about a 2-week trip. Yes.
Usually.
Yeah. So.
And what is your plan in the next time? In the next year or in this year? Do you will go to the Asia or somewhere?
I think next year we're gonna go to Dortmund.
Dortmund, yeah.
And
I think we will meet because we need to go there.
you know, it's just a natural progression. You know, now that we have, you know, 2 countries in Europe, and I've received inquiries, you know, from some people in other countries, and you know, what will it take to, you know, well, you have to meet the right person, you know, and you know, you have to create an interest, much like happened here. You know, people, you know, that have tried the LUJ cigars, you know,
in Austria,
were the reason that we are here is because they shared cigars with their friends and other bloggers, and that created an interest. And so when the opportunity arose, you know, last year we met, you know, we were in Vienna for the Vienna's, you know, Big Smoke, and communication was a beautiful thing, because a blogger, you know, started, you know, what will it take to get this here, and you know, and he communicated with, you know, the people here, and next thing you know, they drove over and met us in Vienna. We had a nice long conversation that included Ram from the Artista factory. He was here last year,
and he was able to discuss the logistics, and
it's a little different in, you know, the way you barcode stuff, and
yes. In Europe, it's very, very hard to come to other countries to come to cigars. In Europe, if comes, need to barcode, need to be EU legalizations, and so much things.
Yes.
And you know, it's very hard maybe, but if you are in, you can go in every countries in Europe.
Well, we have the advantage in that since our cigars are made at the Artista factory, and Artista is already worldwide. When it came to bringing the LUJ cigars into Hungary, I was able to talk to Ram from Artista, and he was able to guide me in what needed to be done and point me in the right direction. And once you know exactly what needs to be done, it's not difficult. It's just a matter of knowing what needs to be done and having someone that can guide you and say, okay, well, you need to do A, B, C, and D, and then once these things are completed, then we can produce,
like,
you know,
track and trace.
Yes,
track and trace,
yes.
Which is not common in the U.S. at all, but it wasn't that difficult once, you know, somebody explained it.
Yeah.
You know, that had already done that process, so it was just a matter of copying what they did.
But they needed like the weight of each cigar.
We have got one episode that talking about with Olasz Gabor Olasz to the track and trace systems and everything.
Exactly.
But this is a Hungarian language, and if he told me these systems, I believe that, oh fuck, it's very hard. It's
not once you know what is needed. Once you know what the parameters are, it's not. But it differs here in the EU. It differs from country to country.
No, yes.
Slightly. And once you know what's necessary, it's not difficult. For example, with Hungary, the track and trace needs to be on each individual stick.
Yeah.
Whereas in Austria, it only needs to be on the box.
Okay.
So, but once you know that it needs to be on each individual stick, it's like, fine, we'll put it on each individual stick. That's not a problem. You know, It's a shame that you have to put all the ugly stickers on the cellophane.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I think I will quit this podcast because we are long. We are maybe this is the 1.5 hour. So the people, I think we need to do the next podcast again for our next conversations.
We can.
Oh, thank you. It's
Absolutely.
appreciated for me. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Martyn, for the last half year to speak with me and always told me we need to do English podcast. So thank you guys that you are here. It was my pleasure. It was my appreciated. So thank you, everybody. Thank you the Budapest Cigar Lounge to give us this very beautiful places. And somebody is in Budapest, comes to Hungary in Budapest, need to be see this lounge.
Beautiful lounge.
Yes, this is a very beautiful lounge. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, the Hungarian Cigar Aficionados names. And guys, if you wanna hear some music in between the cigars, you can find the Landai site on YouTube. This is my music because I write poets and I give music for the poets. And if you go to the Landai site, you can find the playlists for cigars. I have got there is 8 music, so you can do it in for the place to hear, and I think this is very good, and you can hear it. So follow us on here in YouTube. We will do more podcasts in English language. Maybe the next podcast in English language will be Davidoff. The one of cigars of Davidoff. I don't tell it now. So guys, thank you. It was my pleasure that you are in here. So thank you guys, and this is the time of the end, time of the goodbye. So thank you everybody. We will see the next time, like in Hawaii.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye.